Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Hey, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It is the Kevin Jackson Show, KJRadio.com. And by now, you know that Roy Moore has lost the Senate seat. And that's how the establishment Republicans wanted it. Mitch McConnell, congratulations. That's how the lamestream media wanted it. Congratulations to those guys. The hit job. And let me tell you something. They think they've won the war. Oh, we got another seat in the Senate. And now they don't get to pass tax reform and a host of other things. Wait until it's all said and done. Just wait. This is one of these things where the left think they think they got their moral victory. I mean, they think they got their victory. I'm not looking for a moral victory. I wanted Moore to win because I think that it's a terrible thing when somebody just decides we're going to do a witch hunt on a guy. And I look at the way things were set up and how idiots say things like, well, I have to believe that he was doing this. So many women came forward and all this, when you know how crooked these leftists are. But if that's the way you want to play the game, stupid liberals, stupid conservatives, Republicans that call yourselves conservatives as rhinos, then guess what? You get what you get. It's sad that that's the way the world works now. And what's even more sad, because I'm looking at Batali, I don't know, Chef Batali. I don't know anything about that man. But they say 4 women have accused him. He must be guilty. He's already stepped down. Some other journalist, Linzer or whatever, he lefties. By the way, Batali's a leftist. Love the Clintons. He's out. 3 more sports anchors, Marshall Falk, who's an acquaintance of mine. He's not a friend, but he's an acquaintance. And 2 other guys I don't know. They supposedly, and Donovan McNabb, believe it or not, who I just talked about I just saw him the other day. They're all now being accused of sexually harassing some woman that worked at the sports, TV show where they worked at. So 3 of them have been suspended. McNabb hasn't, but it's under investigation. And if you believe the allegations of the woman, you say to yourself, well, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you go? Now, she's an ex-employee. I don't know whether she left of her own accord, but she didn't leave after supposedly 4 people did it, and then finally she's gone. Well, look, I'm going to give you a little inside baseball here. Marshall Falk, Hall of Famer, had no problem getting women. When I lived in St. Louis, Marshall Falk, I'll just say he has no problem getting women. None of those guys, maybe it's proximity and they want to be all, well, she was there, she was available, but maybe she made herself available. We know nothing about this situation, but you know what? If you even question it, then you're SOL. So Democrats, enjoy yourselves. I'm going to remember, I'm still living on November 8th, 2016. And as I mentioned before, this isn't some moratorium on Donald Trump. It's not a moratorium on draining the swamp. It's one more Senate seat that's going to be up for grabs yet again very soon. And you can bet Doug Jones won't be facing Roy Moore. He's going to face a different opponent this time. I don't know who that'll be. The other thing, 1/3 of the Senate, the majority of it is going to be Democrats. And they're not going to have an easy way because Donald Trump is a rock star. And I don't know all the intricacies of the politicking and what goes on, but you can't point the finger at every single Republican and go, he's a sexual harasser. Because by the time that rolls around, it's going to be so played, it'll be like, he hates Negroes. And the Democrats are going to find themselves embroiled in quite a few scandals coming in 2018. So for you folks out there that are, lamenting and you're, we lost and now we've lost 2 governors and a Senate seat. And this is a Senate seat, honestly, we shouldn't have lost. We shouldn't have lost. My hope, without knowing Roy Moore very much, except for the fact that he's a Christian, and I don't believe the allegations of these women. But outside of that, I'm telling you, I believe this is a big mistake. It's funny how some things happen and you think, how could God let that happen? I mean, this was Sessions' seat. Barack Obama won Alabama big time. Barack Obama. Donald Trump won Alabama big time. How can we possibly lose this seat? And you don't know, what is it that God is saying by letting us lose this seat? A God-fearing man. What was he saying to Roy Moore? Maybe he was saying to Roy, you know what? I got bigger plans for you. But he may be saying to the Democrats, go ahead, get happy. Act like it's yours to keep. Because he's got to run again. This is a special election. So I don't know what the answer is, but I'll tell you this. I didn't watch that happen and was all, oh my gosh, the sky's falling. What are we going to do? Our agenda is intact. It's intact. Oh, Trump's never going to get taxes passed. Just watch. Just watch. Now, I predicted a Moore win, and let me tell you why. I felt like Americans had seen enough of what the media could do, and in terms of negative publicity and just out and out lying. I thought when Roy Moore proved that this lady would not release her yearbook and it was a forgery, etc., I thought that was enough. I don't know what else could be done. I don't work on these campaigns. I'll tell you this. If I were running Roy Moore's campaign, I believe he would have won. And I'm not saying that I'm such a great campaign manager. I know nothing about it. But I would have fought them so hard. I would have turned this on Doug Jones in ways you wouldn't believe. Now, here's the other side of the coin, too. The Democrats spent a fortune on this race. They bought this race, and that's okay. The Republicans spent a lot, too. But what's so sad about this is that McConnell abandoned this man. He abandoned him. Then they came back at the end and tried to salvage it. And what the Republicans should have done is immediately say, we're not going to believe this. And you don't know the circumstances. Look, I don't even want to go down that road because it really upsets me that we don't have enough backbone to back somebody. I look at the support, the rallying around Bill Clinton when he was under fire. And I mean, he was one of the worst offenders. And the people who watched Weinstein do what he did, and then you compare any of that to a Roy Moore, and you're going, seriously? It's nothing in comparison. Anyway, when we come back, I'm going to teach you how to learn not to care. We'll be back.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.
Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Should we have a little fun? I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening to the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. Promote it where you can. Do what you can. Get the word out there, because let me tell you something. We give you the best. We give you the good stuff. We don't hold back. We don't cut it. We don't cut the radio show and water it down with baby powder. So when you get your hit. No, you get the full thing. Conservatives out there, what's he talking about? Leftists are like, man, did he just talk about cocaine? This show is a drug. It's heroin. That's heroin for you white people. Oh my goodness, we're having too much fun. You want to know why? Because the left has a strategy that they want to trot out. It's an old strategy. It's already been done. It did not work before. And what's funny about it is, let me just set the scenario. And I've said it already, but the left want to paint Donald Trump as this sexual predator. Now, they're going to struggle with that because, I'm going to tell you how it is. Let me just talk black for a minute, okay? With black folks, we see Donald Trump as the apprentice, the dude who did The Apprentice and Celebrity Apprentice, as a billionaire playboy who could have done a lot of bad things, and he didn't. Donald Trump could have lived the life of Hefner, except he was seriously rich. Hefner was just a fake rich. He had a little bit of money. Trump had serious money. Trump never had to marry. He could have baby mamas all over the world for all intents and purposes, but he did it by the book. He's been married 3 times, but he married his chicks, right? Donald Trump has been around the most beautiful women in the world, and they want to paint this guy as some sort of a lecherous dude. And I've jokingly said, look, Weinstein, yes. Ugly kid growing up, the big fat Jewish boy, and I'm sure his parents did well and all that, but he was not the guy that the girls were like, ooh, do you think Harvey's going to ask you out to the prom? No. You think Franken was that guy? I mean, look, I understand, they don't all grow up to be ugly, but many of these leftist men are pretty ugly guys. They don't have anything going for them. Why do you think Franken resorted to comedy? You think he was going to get chicks on his looks? Of course not. So they're ugly men and they're soulless. And so they get into power and they do these crazy things. And look, I don't care. Franken's a whole nother story, but Weinstein and some of these other guys, they're horrible people, and they had a reason to be. They were trying to get to the power. Donald Trump has had money and pretty much power his entire life, other than some battles here and there with money issues where he was trying to leverage stuff and had to sell some things. He had some dark periods. We all do. But other than that, dude, there's hardly a guy on the planet that wouldn't at some point say, I would have traded. You know what I'm saying? So this idea that they're going to sell this is crazy to me, but the left are crazy. Here's the second part of it. Gillibrand. They want her to be the next big thing. Elizabeth Warren's gone. Kamala Harris. By the way, I need to make a correction on Kamala Harris. I've said on this program she's not black. She's not half black. I had read a story where I thought she was Indian and Greek or something. She is half black. Jamaican. Her father was Jamaican. So she's not technically black as in black American, but she's a Jamaican. And that's what I think I got mixed up. But anyway, Kamala Harris, dumber than Hank Johnson. You should see some of the tweets of this woman. So here's my point. The left are looking for a hero. So what they've done is they've said, we're going to make Donald Trump into a bad guy. After all, he supported Roy Moore. And we've got all these allegations against him. And oh, by the way, look at what we did. We got rid of our dead weight. We got rid of Al Franken and Conyers. Let me tell you something. They didn't get rid. The strategy for them was they went to Conyers and Franken and said, look, the only way we're going to get rid of Donald Trump, we can't impeach him. There's nothing he's doing wrong. We have to taint him. And by tainting Donald Trump, we will taint everything that he touches, everybody around him. Anybody that supports Trump supports being against women. And women are going to go, we don't like Donald Trump because he's a misogynist and he puts his hands on women's, naughty bits and all that. Let me tell you, huge backfire for multiple reasons. Number one, women are smarter than people think, including leftist women. And they're going to go, come on. Y'all are, and when I'm finished with this today, you'll understand that this is a huge backfire. You guys know me. Y'all know. Look, I'm not trying to blow a little sunshine up your Komodo. You know, I'm not. I'm not trying to make you feel good for the sake of feeling good. I'm telling you exactly what's going to happen. This is a huge backfire. And the first thing is because of women. Women get it. Leftist women get it more than anybody. They're like, are you kidding me? A billionaire, if he had interest in me, are you kidding? I would have gladly gone out on a date. I would have, no offense, but I would have put out. I would have done whatever. Don't try to play games with women's sensibilities. They're actually endearing Donald Trump to leftist women. Y'all can stew on that a little bit, and enjoy the morsel. Now, here's number two. Gillibrand is dumb. She's she's not a bad looking woman. It's not like she's certainly, Donald Trump wouldn't grab her by the blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But she's not ugly. And what they're saying in this statement is, we don't really believe Kamala Harris has it. We don't believe we have a candidate. So we're going to make Gillibrand the next Hillary Clinton. She's, an okay looking lady. She's from New York. White chick, blondie. Let's see what we can do with her. So it's Hillary version 2.0. Now, wait until Gillibrand gets into the fight and she starts talking about women's issues. And I, by the way, even though her voice isn't like Hillary Clinton's, it's almost very like a child, like a teenager. And anyway, so Donald Trump's like, and then blah, blah, and this, blah. So this is the biggest backfire in the history, not the biggest in the history, but it's a big one. Okay. I don't want to get too hyperbolic. So I'm loving that this is their strategy. And I'm going to walk you through it a little bit because you just gotta understand what's going on here. So here's Gillibrand talking about Donald Trump and the sex abuse. All right.
President Trump has been the Republican candidate Roy Moore. Meanwhile, Democrats in Congress forced two of their own prominent members, Senator Al Franken and Congressman John Conyers, to resign their seats. New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand led the movement, which was started by women in the Senate to compel Al Franken to step down. She's been wrestling with issues of abuse and accountability throughout her career, battling against sexual assault in the military and on college campus. And she joins me now for an exclusive interview from Washington. Senator Gillibrand, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Christiane. It's great to be on.
So, as I said, this is an extraordinary moment, an unprecedented time in American politics, and the world is gripped by this saga. I mean, here it now takes aim squarely at President Trump as this whole Me Too movement, gains momentum. Should the White House be worried?
I want to stop it there for just a second, and we'll pick this up if we go a little long. We'll pick it up in a bit. But here's what's funny. So she's Christiane Amanpour, who replaced one of the former anchors on MSNBC or whatever it was. She says Trump supports Moore. Now, the Dems have gotten rid of two of their people. And then now she introduces Gillibrand. She says Gillibrand is compelled. She's the one who compelled Franken to step down. So now she's presented Gillibrand to us as a hero. I want you to understand what's going on here. Was it CNN that she's with? I'm for. Doesn't matter. So she's presented Gillibrand as she's gone out against sexual assault in the military and on college campuses. And so she is truly a champion of women. You got to understand where we are here, folks. And then Amanpour says, we're at an extraordinary moment in political history. The world, these are her words, no exaggeration. The world is gripped on this subject. And then she says that it takes aim squarely at the president. Does it? So let me see. I thought it took aim at Al Franken and Weinstein and Kevin Spacey and a host of other Holly weirdos and more DC freaks that we are yet to discover. But no, she says it takes aim squarely at Donald Trump, the president. And then she goes on to say the Me Too movement is now moving forward. Look at the Me Too movement. It's gaining momentum, as she said. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. I've said it before. The Me Too movement is gaining momentum because the media is going to say every time a man, even looks at a woman, oh, he looked at me, sexual assault, sexual assault, sexual assault. So you're going to watch this thing happen until some woman, some high-level executive, you're going to find out Hillary Clinton was freaking, Uma, and Uma's going to claim sexual assault against her, or you're going to find some high-level executive getting sexual assault claims, and then suddenly things are going to die out. That's how it's going to happen. But understand this, because we got a break. Gillibrand's a hero, and she's a hero of a movement, and CNN wants to recognize it.
Kevin Jackson on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177, or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Dun, 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 dun. Welcome to the Kevin Jackson Show. Dun, 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 dun. Bringing sexy back. Bringing sexy back. Oh, KJRadio.com. 844-551-8255. Bringing sexy back. I'm bringing sexy back to the radio. Yes, you people are sexy. Go ahead, look at yourselves. Find something reflective. And then hold on a minute. Oh, Lord. Man. Bringing sexy back. Bringing sexy back. Welcome, sexy people. How many times have you been called that? It makes you feel good, doesn't it? Because you're feeling a little sexier now that I've told you. Dun, dun. Come on, move your shoulders. Everybody move your shoulders together with me. Bump, 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 bump. Now put one in front of the other, just like you're walking. Do it twice. 1, 2, 1, 2. Left, left, right, right. Come on, bring it sexy back. Why am I doing this? Because I care about you. I want you to feel good about who you are. You are sexy people. But here's the thing. You don't need to care what I think. That's right. If there's anything more medicinal, it's letting go, baby. Letting go. See, if you carry something, like you're mad, you've been mad at your brother, for 5 years, whatever. He made you mad at Christmas or something, Thanksgiving years ago. You're mad at him. Let it go. Let it go. Bring it sexy back. Yeah, bring it sexy back. Because you're sexy. You're good. If you're listening to this program, most likely you feel happy. And that goes for the leftists. Because the leftists will still be leftists. They'll be listening to me like, oh, listen to that Kevin Jackson show. But I don't have to like it. But they find themselves going, bring it sexy back. They like it. They like it. They love it. They want some more of it. They do. Admit it. You send me notes. I read between the lines. Kevin, what you said the other day, blah, 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 blah. And all I hear is, Kevin, what you said makes sense. I really want to change, but I'm obstinate. I just want to fight the feeling because I don't want my whole world to be rocked by you being right, black man. Bring it sexy back. Bum, 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 bum. See, let me tell you something. The secret to life, and don't take this the wrong way, because I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it to you. Doesn't matter, who wins elections, and we lost governor's races and Roy Moore, and none of that matters. What matters is how you feel. Things will settle down. You're already seeing it. You're watching it happen right before your eyes, folks. Your little sexy selves. Learn not to care. That's what I'm telling you. That is the lesson Kevin Jackson is delivering to you right now. Learn not to care. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, the left does not care about you. That's their sanity. The reason why they can ignore logic and reason is they've learned not to care about you. They don't have to care what you think. Yeah, of course it makes sense. You don't bring terrorists into your midst. You don't allow people to come illegally into your country. You don't have a bunch of people that you know don't want to work, want to get welfare for nothing. You can't let unions pay people for doing nothing. You can't let unions be in charge of their own deals, especially when it comes to your children, like the teachers unions and some of these public service unions. They will be self-serving. And it's just common sense. You don't penalize the best among you, the capitalists, the people that are making jobs, and then say, like Hillary Clinton did, the capitalists, corporations don't create jobs. And you don't give credit to roads and bridges for business being there. That's like saying, if without oxygen, you better give some credit to oxygen. If government could tax your oxygen, what would they do? They would tell you, you couldn't survive without clean air. Why do you think they want your air? So they can tell you, well, without air, how are you going to have a business? And there's going to be a whole group of idiots coming up in school going, well, government's got a point. I mean, if it wasn't for them with the clean air, well, I mean, where would we be? With clean air, just not getting taxed for it, not paying for it. Are you kidding me? Man knows what to do. We're smart. We don't need government. And oh, by the way, when government says, ooh, you can't get anywhere with roads and bridges, who do you think are providing those roads and bridges? You? It's not government. Let me tell you, when has government looked at a road and a bridge and went, you know what? That would be a great place for a road or a bridge. And not only that, I'm going to invent something that you can drive on that road and bridge and it won't be muddy. You know, I'm going to pave it. Show me where government has a department of paving. Show me where government has a department of asphalt. You know what somebody did? Somebody looked at it, and at first they went, you know what, we could put some boards over there and, put it across the bridge, and we can build ourselves a wooden bridge, and it'll let things go across. And some guy went, you know what, that bridge would be a lot better if we use metal. We made it an expansion bridge, and underneath it we put a very flexible material that's made of concrete and asphalt, whatever else, and we'll call it pavement, whatever. And we're gonna use that. And if they could do it with air or through some sort of a not hydraulic, but some sort of you know what I'm talking about, whether like the Japanese trains, they do that. But man thought of it. Man did it. Capitalists came together and said, oh, I can do a road. Somebody built the road, and then it was cracking. Yeah, it was just all cracky. And somebody said, you know what I could do? If we put a rubberized formula into the concrete, it won't crack as much. It'll expand and contract better. And they've gone on to, now we got blacktop. Can you say that? Is that racist? You get what I'm saying? Everything gets... we fix it. We understand it. We improve it. That's what we do. But let me tell you, no matter what you're talking about, no matter what innovations, no matter what you're speaking about that's political, you got to learn to let go, because the left does not care. They do not care about conservatives. They do not care about your point of view. They only care about themselves. They don't care about America. You say, you got to love this country. This is America. And they're like, America? And then they want to, argue with you. I ain't saying no pledge of allegiance and national anthem and all that. I don't love this country, but what's this country ever done for me? Well, it's giving you roads and bridges. But they don't care. Self-indulgent prima donnas. They'll take what you have, or they'll get somebody else to do it. Conniving, conspiring miscreants, always looking for an opportunity to get anybody, including those closest to them. They are soulless cretins, and that's too kind to describe them. Oh, yeah, I'm about to preach up in here. I love the Lord. Oh, man, I'm having fun with you guys already. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about. There's a strategy afoot right now at the leftist. a strategy. And I want to talk to you about this strategy. And I've already spoken about it a little bit. It's playing out right now. But now there's a new antagonist in the mix. Somebody that they want to replace Hillary Clinton. They say there's a lot of people that can run for office for president. Well, they're going to start touting this one person. I'm going to break that down for you here in just a bit. Yeah, we got a lot going on today, huh? How about that election?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. Putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Kevin Jackson here. It's Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. We are documenting what's happening in the Democrats' playbook. The Alinsky tactics. They no longer work. But they still want to use it. So let them use it. I'm not going to, look, I explained to the Democrats, we're on to them. If they listen to the program, and they do, they write to me. You Uncle Tom, you this, that, and the other. And fine. By the way, if you're a leftist out there and you want to send me some hate mail, feel free. KJRadio.com. If you want to call, leave your hate messages, 844-551-8255. And for you people out there that want to leave your messages of love, you can do the same. So we're talking about Gillibrand and the strategy of the left to set her up as the next big deal going into 2018. That's what they're doing. The Democrats don't have a AAA ball club. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, they don't have a major league, but they don't have a team coming up. And so Cory Booker, he's embroiled in some controversies. By the way, he's also saying President Trump needs to step down. He's been doing mea culpas all over the place, talking about women that he supposedly, groped. But let me tell you what that's about. That isn't because Cory Booker actually groped women. That's to make Cory Booker not be gay. Just so you guys are aware. The rumor is he's gay. So the groping for him is going to be, hey, he's a real man. And then at some point, the reveal will come that Cory Booker is either bisexual or gay. And we'll have the Democrats will tout, we'll have our first gay president. Or they're going to let Booker and Gillibrand run together. So that's the strategy there. They're always playing the long game. I'm just watch how they set Booker up, because he was touted as being one of the guys to be groomed for president, as was, by the way, Anthony Weiner. Anthony Weiner, I know it's hard to believe, he was considered an up-and-comer in Democrat politics. Boisterous, loudmouth, secular Jew that, quite frankly, stood against everything you're for. The conservative Jews look at a guy like Anthony Weiner and go, yikes. Conservative people hear his politics. They see a skinny version of Chuck Schumer is when they saw Weiner. But he was a big deal. Al Franken. Y'all think I'm kidding. Go look at the list of people from even 6 months ago that they say were going to be contenders in the presidential election. Al Franken's high up there. Now, once you get rid of all the people that are 70 to 80 years old, the list gets pretty small pretty fast. And it's not very many folks. They don't have a farm team, as they say in baseball. But anyway, Kirsten Gillibrand, who's from New York, she's doing an interview with Christine Amanpour. And Christine has set this thing up that it's compelling. We're at an extraordinary moment, and we've got this champion of women's rights, Gillibrand, and she doesn't have a husband, by the way, who's raped 50 women. So here we go. We've got our new champion, and she's impervious to any, history of this. And there we go. And Christine Amanpour says, the world is gripped. Here's the clip. I'm going to play the whole clip, including Gillibrand's response.
President Trump has been the Republican candidate Roy Moore. Meanwhile, Democrats in Congress forced two of their own prominent members, Senator Al Franken and Congressman John Conyers, to resign their seats. New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand led the movement, which was started by women in the Senate to compel Al Franken to step down. She's been wrestling with issues of abuse and accountability throughout her career, battling against sexual assault in the military and on college campus. And she joins me now for an exclusive interview from Washington. Senator Gillibrand, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Christian. It's great to be on.
So, as I said, this is an extraordinary moment, an unprecedented time in American politics, and the world is gripped by this saga. I mean, here it now takes aim squarely at President Trump as this whole Me Too movement, gains momentum. Should the White House be worried?
Well, President Trump should resign. These allegations are credible. They are numerous. I've heard these women's testimony, and many of them are heartbreaking. And President Trump should resign his position. Whether he will ever hold himself accountable is something, you really can't hold your breath for. And so Congress should have hearings. They should do their investigation. They should have appropriate investigations of his behavior and hold him accountable.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Kevin Jackson here, KJRadio.com. You're Kristen Gillibrand.
She sounds like hey, yeah, so what they should do, they really ought to do this? And
she sounds like a little bitty girl, and which is going to be a problem for her. I'm just telling you, Democrats have major problems. Major problem. And the problems aren't personalities. It's not the sound of somebody's voice or whatever. The problem is they don't have a good ideology. I was talking to a guy, he says to me, he goes, I just liked Obama. And I go, why you like Obama? He just seemed cool. I told this story, I think yesterday maybe. He seemed cool. He seemed like he was on top of things. And so here's the problem that the Democrats have long term. They had a guy that seemed like he was on top of things, and he wasn't. And now they're going to witness a guy who is on top of things. And while he's on top of things, you've got accusers like Kirsten Gillibrand who's saying he's a sexual predator. He's a sexual predator. And it isn't going to jive with anything that's going. There's nothing that's going out. Don't misunderstand me. There's going to be some idiots out there who will believe anything you tell them. But the overwhelming majority of people are going, it isn't going to work. And I find it interesting that the Democrats are retreading something that's already failed, because you want to prosecute it again. You think that the media is going to suddenly change. I think what they're thinking is Donald Trump's going to get baited into, I didn't do that with this woman or whatever. He doesn't have to. The women are doing a great job all on their own. Now, look, I want to cover this differently later in the broadcast, because Megyn Kelly rolled these people out, and I want to talk about how that interview went here in a bit. But I want to play one of the accusers that Gillibrand says they're very highly credible. These are very credible people. The credible people she's talking about, one of them is a Hillary Clinton shill. And she wants to say, yeah, 20, 30 years ago, Donald Trump did this. And let me tell you what Donald Trump's going to go. I don't even know who you are. When would this have occurred? And, we were at some sort of a gathering, and he's going to go, I have no knowledge of it. And to Katie, I forget her last name. She's a British lady. To her point, she says, we are going to go through sexual abuse fatigue. Ladies, I'm not talking to, let me rephrase that. Chicks on the left, you guys better understand, you are opening up Pandora's box. Pardon the pun. And Pandora's probably a leftist now that I think about it. And you are not going to be able to put the whatever the contents are back in it. Because what's going to happen is people are going to have what Katie called sexual abuse fatigue. Everybody's crying foul. Yeah, one time he looked at me. Wow, did he look leeringly? No, he just glanced at me. I'll give you an example. One of my friends is a regional manager for a large shoe company, a store. And he said one of his employees, a girl, filed a complaint against her boss, who's a woman. And the guy goes, well, what did she do? And the girl goes, she looked at me. And he goes, and he thought it was a joke. And I get looked at all the time. I'm pretty hunky and all this. And he's not. He's a nerd. And so he's like, she looked at me, and he goes, well, what do you want me to do? And she was, legit. And she goes, well, it was the way she looked at me. And the girl, the supervisor, has no clue. She's like, what is she talking about? And he had to file a report on this. Anyway, I want to play this clip real quick.
These dreams never included a man lining us all up to look us over like we were pieces of meat. These dreams never included a man coming into the backstage makeup area while I sat naked under a robe.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, that was one of Trump's accusers, and he comes into the dressing room, apparently, and this girl sat naked under a robe, and that became a hashtag, naked under a robe. She doesn't even have the ability to process that she's not naked. She's a pageant girl. Guys go in and out of these pageants like this. Photographers, hairdressers, makeup artists, you name it. People that do their outfits. They're all going in and out of this room. This is the way the pageant works. Donald Trump has not changed the way he did it for years. And she's saying it was harrowing what he did to me. Now, she doesn't explain that there are many other girls in there as well. What's he doing to her? Nothing. Nothing that's any different than any other pageant and any other pageant girl. This is one of the accusers that they want to put in front of the American people.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Another hour of the Kevin Jackson Show. 844-551-8255 if you want to call in. And KJRadio.com if you want to contact us by email or whatever. We love getting your messages. In fact, a gentleman sent me a message just the other day. What was his name? Very nice message. And it was like, hey, Kev, I'm glad to know that you guys, read the messages. And I'm going to find it because I want to actually read what he said. Here's what he says. Thanks for mentioning your listeners' notes. If you get a charge out of getting them, trust me, us listeners get a double charge and are so encouraged to know that you get and read a lot of them. Would like to send you more notes of preach on, brother. But dang, work gets in the way and to be able to not able to always stop and write. Keep up the great work. So much appreciate your efforts. That came from Dennis. So Dennis, I appreciate your message. I told you guys, we get them. We get lots of messages that you guys call the show 844-551-8255, and occasionally we call, we'll play them. Generally speaking, it's just you guys leaving a message of encouragement or, Kevin, you're going to cover this or cover that, and we like that as well. So love getting your messages. I can't stress that enough. So happy you guys are out there listening to us because we have to fight against we have to swim upstream much of the time. We're fighting against ourselves, these rhino Republicans like Mitch McConnell, who I blame for Roy Moore losing. And then we're fighting against these cretins on the left. Soulless cretins is what they are, these Democrats, these leftists, these so-called progressives. And I talked about them earlier because what I said to you is you must, and this is kind of our theme of the day, is you have to learn not to care about them. And it's tough to do as a conservative. You go, look, I'm programmed to sort of want to help people, to get them out of their malaise, out of their stupor. Well, they're celebrating tonight. You know why they're celebrating? Because Planned Parenthood can kill more black babies. They're celebrating because they can bring in more terrorists, perhaps. They can stop you from getting your money back from the government by stopping President Trump's tax bill. They can let in more illegals and give them more rights than you so they can go kill more Kate Steinleys and get off. Yeah, they're exuberant. They're over there celebrating this stuff. They're celebrating that they elected a guy that served for 8 years and doubled our debt, that ran our deficit through the roof, that brought in terrorism in ways we don't even, that we would never have believed it in our lives, that we would be fighting terrorists, brought in more bad people, banditos coming in from Mexico, robbing the country of Mexico of its people and its culture. And I could go on. The shooting of cops, condoning it, blessing racist terrorist groups like Black Lives Matter, and I could continue. This is what this is the type of people that are over there smiling and laughing because Roy Moore lost last night and Doug Jones won. They're cretins. So how could you possibly care about somebody like that? They expect you to care. They know you will get up and go to work so you can give more of your tax dollars to that gross beast called the federal government that doesn't give a crap about you. They love that you'll do that no matter what, you're still going to show up, come rain or shine. And then they're going to redistribute that money to people, with names like Jaquan and Duwan and Rodrigo, who have more girlfriends, more wives, and more kids by all of them than probably you and all your brothers and sisters combined. They don't care. So why should you? You know how to let go. You've had to give tough love to a kid or tough love to a friend. You love them, but sometimes you got to let them go their own way. The Bible says, when I was a child, I acted like a child. But when I became a man, I acted like a man. What we don't know how to do well, folks, is learn not to care. When we talk of raising the ocean, there's the saying, a rising tide raises all ships. Well, that's too doggone bad. I'm sorry that Donald Trump's economy is raising the ships for everybody because you know what? The leftists don't care. They aren't going to credit him. They're going to credit Barack Obama unless you tell them when they say, well, that was Barack Obama's economy. And you go, how? You're a fool if you believe that. Barack Obama said he couldn't save Carrier and Trump did it. He said we were going to lose manufacturing. Trump's bringing it back. Shut up. I don't want to hear anything from you. We need to make the left want to be us. You want to know why? Because we're crazy, sexy, cool. There should be a penalty for being a leftist. You shouldn't benefit from Donald Trump's stock market. You should have to take your money out. You shouldn't benefit from safer neighborhoods. Get your butt to the ghetto or get out of the country. There should be a penalty. An illegal shot and killed Kate Steinle, and he didn't pay. The people who let him in that sanctuary city, they didn't pay. In fact, they believed they were vindicated by the not guilty verdict. See, what we did was right. No, it wasn't. By the way, when you see your black folks, because there's some of them that know this, ask any one of them. Hey, I'm just going to ask you, Jaquan, do you think you could have shot Kate Steinle and stayed out of prison, my brother? See, what leftists do, they destroy stuff. And what they did to Roy Moore is they destroyed this man's reputation for fun. I want you to imagine that. You've worked your entire life to build a reputation as a good person, let's say a judge, and because of some petty ideology, somebody wants to destroy you. And those very same leftists protected other leftists whom they know are bad people, men of ill repute. They protected Kevin Spacey, Charlie Sheen, Weinstein, Bill Clinton, and many others. They stood right there shoulder to shoulder fighting for him. Gillibrand, I'm going to be talking about her. I talked about her earlier, actually. But Gillibrand was on the campaign trail with a known rapist, Bill Clinton. Took donations 6 times from Harvey Weinstein, and she wants to tell you, I'm the new keeper of women. Yes, she is. Folks, fear not. In the end, we win. Don't sweat it. You are in the best position you have been in as a conservative in decades. And don't you worry about it. You go out there, you do your thing. But you better open your mouth and let these leftists know you're not going to be stepped on. You're not going to be trampled on. They want to rub Doug Jones in your face. Say, I tell you what, we still got Donald Trump. So take that.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
I just heard that there's another attack in New York. I just hear the governor of New York, Cuomo, come on and say it was a low-tech bomb. Oh, moron. You're not the manager at Best Buy. You're the governor of New York. Who cares what it was? What are you doing to stop it? And then the other moron, the hole, comes on and says, oh, it wasn't a well-planned attack. Now you're critiquing it? Yeah, that's good. Let them know what they did wrong so that they can improve on the next time. What a moron. Yeah, why don't you give them a list of all the plumbing supplies places in New York so the next pipe bomb could be made with the best materials? These people are out of their minds. And now all you hear is, were they on the terrorist watch list? Were they not on it? Where is this list? Why isn't this list posted all over the place? Why is it a secret? There's only like 200 people on it. The list of who bangs your sister is longer than that. It should be in every bodega. It should be on the scoreboard at Yankee Stadium. Everybody should know. The FBI's watching them. We're all getting attacked. What are they doing? We should all be watching because these people don't care. They don't care about you. Let me tell you something. If I was the governor right now, you would hear me say, okay, the 200 people on the watch list, we just kicked their doors in. We took them and their family, and they're on a leaky boat towards the middle of the ocean. Out of here. Do something already. People, they're putting our lives in danger. They don't give a shit about us.
I gotta tell you, I love this guy right here. I love this guy. This is the New Yorker I'm looking for. This is the New Yorker that could never vote for a cretin like Hillary Clinton. You follow me? Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. See, that's heartfelt. That's what the people of New York feel. I was saying earlier, there are many places in New York there are many people in New York who don't even know terror attacks occurred. They don't know what's going on. They don't know the politics. They don't even care. There are many people in New York who are glad to hear that terror attack occurred and the one before on Halloween. They're happy for it. They love it. This is the time we live in where there are people out there who are wishing mayhem to come in. And oh, by the way, politicians are bringing it in. Come on. Isn't that crazy? Wow. The guy says, a low-tech bomb. What are you, like work at Best Buy? I like What are you going to do to stop it? Isn't that the question? What are you going to do to stop it? Because, see, let me explain something to you leftists out there listening to the program. They don't want to stop it. They want to fight it. They now have a new disease, terror, and now they get to go after it. And the way they're going to go after it is they're going to take your money. They're going to tell you, hey, guys, there's still some good people out there. Don't sweat it. We'll get to them, but we got to do this. It's going to take we're going to have to crack a few eggs to make this happen. And it's going to cost us. We're all going to have to pay a small price for it. But in the end, we're going to feel better about it being human beings. He goes on. He's like, what are you trying to do? You critiquing the attack? You're going to help them do it better? Gotta love this guy. Speaking truth to power. He's telling them exactly the way New Yorkers feel. You think they're going to put this on the news? You think the radio is going to be talking about this? This was an attack that didn't really get to happen. The person who got hurt the most was the terrorist. But what would have happened? Saw a story in the New York Post. A guy was saying his sister was going to walk right up to the guy. She was one that got hurt. But it would have been worse, far worse. Had it gone off, she's dead. And he said, I'm angry. I'm angry we have to live like this. Hey, New York, I'll ask you this question. A decade, 2 decades ago, did you have to live like this? No, you didn't. Nowhere in America did we worry about this stuff. I'm just telling you. It's getting crazy out there. 200 people on this terror watch list. He says less than that. I don't know how many there are. Maybe he got the right information. But he cracked me up. They should post this in every bodega, Yankee Stadium, for goodness sake, I started sounding British. But you know what he's saying? Yankee Stadium, come on, what are you talking about? Tell you what I would do. I'd kick their doors in. I'd put them on a leaky raft out into the middle of the ocean. Oh, you can't think like that. He's a New Yorker. He's a Northeasterner. He's, a tolerant guy. He's put up with this for a long time. You're exactly right. He's put up with this. This is the guy. These are the people that vote for the people like de Blasio who implement these types of rules. No surveillance of mosque. We don't want to offend anyone. What was that story we did where they don't want plexiglass in these bodegas, these stores? I don't know where this lady's located, but somewhere, black chick. And because it's offensive to black people to have to get their groceries or whatever through the bulletproof glass. Those are the people in New York and elsewhere that vote for this nonsense. And so this guy, he's telling you the truth. He's telling you what's on the mind of many New Yorkers, the ones that are plugged in. He's telling you, you know what? Let me just tell you what he's saying politically. I'm sick of these leftists. I'm sick of de Blasio. I'm sick of Cuomo. I'm sick of every alderman, every person that calls himself a leftist that wants to tell me that I'm racist or whatever, because I want to be protected. I want to feel protected in my own country, in my own city. I don't want it being overrun by people who want to kill me. And he also knows it's not over. Not by a long shot. There's going to be more. And you have mayors of London and leaders of the free world, Trudeau and Macron in France, saying to people, hey, get used to this. The mayor of London, hey, this is the new normal. De Blasio believes it. Rahm Emanuel believes it. Chicago is all these places are going to start having these issues if they don't already. And it's all because of leftism. Leftists know this is wrong. This guy, for all I know, union guy from New York, he's been there his whole life. He's like, hey, come on, vote for the Democrat. They're the ones who put money in our pockets. Come on, what are you doing? Money doesn't do you much good when you're dead. Money doesn't do you much good when you've been run over by the caliphate. So what's it all worth to you, New York? What's it all worth to you, liberals? None of us conservatives, we're compassionate. But we draw the line. We look at things with common sense. The Democrats are cretins. They don't care. They don't care at all. Anyway, we're going to have to take a short break. What do we got coming up? Megyn Kelly? Want to talk about Megyn Kelly? Yeah, let's talk about her.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson. There it is, the Kevin Jackson Show. Yeah! We are covering some issues. You know what we're confronting? We're confronting racism. Leftists are full of it. We're confronting sexism. Leftists are full of it. While we're on that subject, there's a war against men in this country. And apparently, most people don't have the nads to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. I love women. I exalt women. My grandmother, she wasn't perfect, but I'll tell you this, she was an amazing woman. And there are many other women in my life who I think just are the salt of the earth. I look at conservative women and I tip my hat to you ladies. You're unbelievable. In a good way. I mean, you raised the most amazing children. You build up the most amazing men, beginning with the youngsters, with young boys. You teach them how to be gentlemen. You teach them how to comport themselves, and so on and so forth. I tip my hat to you ladies. But I don't tip my hat to a leftist woman. No way, no how. No matter how they try to appear, you understand their ideology, that underneath thing. It's kind of like you can dress them up. You can make them as beautiful as you want. They can come off as nice and just whatever. I promise you, they got scissors ready to cut you off. Cut off your manhood. They will do it in an instant. They raise emasculated men. They emasculate the men that they call themselves being with. Look at the way leftist men behave. Watch them at a cocktail party. Watch them at events. You can't tell them from their spouses. And I'm not trying to, well, we're all brutes and manly men. No, we're nice guys. But you can look at a conservative family and you go, there's the father, there's the mother, there's the man, there's the woman. And it isn't like one's better than the other. It's just you see the lines of demarcation. You understand it. Nothing wrong with that. We've made it appear that way, even as I talk about it. There are people going, well, Kevin, I'm not sure I want to, I'm not going to buy it. Yeah, I know you've been trained to be a chicken. Don't worry about it. See, what the idea of today is you have to learn not to care. You got to learn that people are going to look at you. They're going to judge you on the way you do things. Go to some cocktail party once and says, I was out skeet shooting, or I was out, at the range the other day with you have a gun? Chuck, he's got a gun. Watch how they behave towards you. Tell somebody you voted for Trump. Watch what happens. I'm talking about these leftists. And the people on the right will do? They'll look at you and go, and then they'll come later and go, I voted for Trump too. Yeah, they don't want to say it. Let me tell you something, folks. Learn not to care. Kevin, what are you talking about? I'm just telling you, learn not to care. That's what I talked about earlier today. I'll talk to you about it right now. Learn not to care. It's medicinal. You got to let go. Yeah. Understand it. Leftists don't like you, and they never will. They don't care about America as we know it. When we say, man, we got to stand up for America, they look at you like, stand up for what? Stand up for, and then they go into this whole issue of what you should not like about this country. We got a lot to talk about today, but let me just tell you something. Learn not to care is the theme. Donald Trump's going to be accused of all this shenanigans with women and stuff. Learn not to care. And speaking of which, let's go into that. Let's talk about Donald Trump's accusers. Because in a quest for ratings, Megyn Kelly trotted out Trump accusers for her latest exclusive. And I liken this show to Geraldo Rivera's Al Capone's Vault or Rachel Maddow's Trump Texas fiascos. That's what it had. It had all the elements of that. On the show, Kelly showcased 3 women who have allegedly been sexually harassed by Donald Trump. Jessica Leeds, Samantha Hovey, and Rachel Cooks. They told Megyn Kelly they were shocked when President Trump was elected in 2006 following a string of sexual misconduct allegations that spanned for years. One of these ladies, you gotta see her. Oh my gosh. My sister would say she toe up from the flow up. And I don't think she was pretty when she was young. But whether she was or she wasn't, you guys have heard me talk about Donald Trump in this vein and say, what? Really? A billionaire playboy can't get play? Donald Trump could. Let me tell you, it didn't matter what fetish Donald Trump had. It didn't matter what fantasies he had. There were dozens, if not hundreds of women prepared to indulge him. The man didn't have, if he'd stuck his hand out, there were women who would have jumped on it and said, he grabbed me by, and I liked it. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys know what I'm saying. I want you to hear one of Donald Trump's accusers explain her sordid encounter with the billionaire playboy. Check this out.
Is it your phone number?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was, I don't know if that happened maybe a couple days later, but he actually came into the office and I was sitting at my desk and he just stood over it and asked me for my phone number. And what? I remember saying, what do you need that for?
Really?
But I gave it to him. He said, you know, he kind of stammered. You know, I think I caught him off guard.
Oh.
But he said, I'm going to give it to my modeling agency. We'll have them call you. It's like, oh. You know, but of course never heard from anyone.
What goes through your mind at that moment that you're handing over your phone number to him?
Maybe, why did I give it to him?
You know, I was so uncomfortable and a little, threatened. It was like I didn't have a choice in agreeing to do that. But we were kind of talking about it last night, too. You feel like you have to say yes to guy. Like, you don't want to be the nasty girl, the mean girl who doesn't comply and who puts up a fight, I guess.
A fight?
So, yeah, I wish I had been stronger.
Stronger?
Then. I mean, I feel differently now. I'd like to think things would be a lot different now.
Oh, yeah. Might have a different phone number. Can you believe that? Holy cow. That's the litmus test. That's what triggered her. He asked me for my phone number. A single billionaire business mogul comes over her desk and says, you know, hey, listen, could I get your phone number? And I was shocked. What do you want my phone number for? Because that's how I would communicate with you. I mean, today, can you imagine? Hey, can I connect with you on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook Messenger or teapartycommunity.com? Be sure to check that out. I mean, seriously. Lord knows Donald Trump, billionaire, business mogul, wouldn't have the guts to say, hey, listen, would you want to go out sometime? Yeah, he's too shy. He needs to go through the innuendo of the ruse, the modeling ruse. You know, hey, listen, you want to be a model? I know I've got some connections in Hollywood. The real story here, folks, is how Megyn Kelly sat through that interview with a straight face. I mean, this is a show where she's revealing all of the terrible things that Donald Trump has done. And the best thing she can come up with is, well, he came to me and you hear the way she's telling the story? And he stood over my desk. He was looming. It was like his presence was bigger than God. And he says to me, can I have your phone number? And I was like, well, why do you want my phone number? Yeah, because every victim says to the person that they're really afraid of, why do you want my phone number? It couldn't be that she was flirting and he was flirting and she was like, well, why do you want my phone number? And he was like, well, I'm going to have my modeling agency call you. Okay, well, here it is. These people are incredible. By the way, this is what's going to get Donald Trump to resign. Impeachable offenses, and Gillibrand said earlier, we've got to have the Senate, people look into this. Donald Trump's going around asking women for their phone numbers, for goodness sakes. Y'all seeing how silly this is? I mean, am I being clear enough? Yeah. Are y'all getting it? You guys got it? Okay. Sometimes I don't know if my sarcasm is coming through. That's her encounter. It wasn't, I was at a party, he invited me up to his room. He forced himself on me, by performing some sexual act and making me give him massages and promising me movie roles and, putting me on the casting couch and inviting his friends. And he was naked in the shower and told me to hand him a towel. Would I want to join him? I mean, these are the Weinstein allegations. Trump asked a woman out. Ask her for a number. Didn't even ask her out. And she implies, well, he didn't have the guts. It must have caught him by surprise that I asked him, what do you want my number for? No. We'll be back.
Kevin Jackson on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Holy cow, Megyn Kelly. Really? Things are that bad over at NBC that you got to do a show with Trump women, and the best you could come up with was, he asked me for my phone number. Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It is amazing to me how the Democrats play their strategy. The strategy is like right in front of your face. I told you guys this. I said, look, I don't know if you guys remember, but it wasn't this long ago. Conyers resigning, Franken gets pushed out. I said, you know what they're doing? They're going to say they're cleaning house so that they can go back and retread on Donald Trump and say he was a sexual predator, blah, blah, blah. And that they're going to try to force him to resign. So they had to have a couple skins on the wall. Oh, we've cleaned up our act. No, they haven't. Many, many more to come. But what's so sad about this and this whole thing with Megyn Kelly is the level of desperation she's gotten to. I mean, things have got to be pretty bad for you to come up with this kind of drivel to present. And then she backs it up with her tweets. Yeah, she's got this passive-aggressive attack on President Trump. In fact, she called him in a tweet tone deaf. When he tweeted about sexual allegations made against Al Franken, she tweets this: who that has been accused of sexual assault would have the gall to preach to others about sexual misconduct? How infuriating that would be. How tone deaf, Mr. President. Now, what's funny about this is Megyn Kelly says, who that has been accused. In other words, rendered guilty. How would you have the gall as in a person accused? Hey, I have the gall because I didn't do anything. How about that, Megyn Kelly? This is the thing. Megyn and I, I'm friends with Megyn Kelly. She was one of the people that made sure that I got a deal at Fox. But I watch her today and I'm going, I don't know this person. Let me tell you what I see. I see a person who doesn't know who she is. And so she's catering to the audience. Like her or not, Oprah Winfrey, Oprah said, this is who I am. Oprah revealed herself. I'm a victim of sexual abuse at the hands of my own family. Now, Oprah's not going to tell you that all her family are Democrats, but she'll tell you that. I was abused. I was passed around from uncles, whatever, you name it. She won't also tell you it was a Jewish guy, a Jewish man who made her career for her. Most people don't know this. So, but here's the thing. Oprah took that pain. She started out sort of doing sensationalized journalism with going against the Phil Donahues of the world, but she morphed it into something that became uniquely Oprah. And I don't like Oprah's politics, but I'll tell you, some of her shows back in the day, she covered issues and she tried to get deeper dives and really get into the humanity of it all. And I think that's what made her a household word. Megyn Kelly is sensationalizing. She's what's that lady's name? Jenny Jones. She's the Jenny Jones. That's what she reminds me of. You know, you're going to do a show and they brought you over and paying that kind of coin. Show me your personality. And stop making it a personal agenda. Let the audience make up their minds about it. Say, we're going to have these women on, but I'm going to challenge them. She isn't challenging anybody. A woman comes on and says, Donald Trump asked me for my phone number. I felt so much pressure. Oh, my gosh. You know, I worked there. I don't even know if she worked for him or Donald Trump. You're a receptionist at his office. And he asked you for your phone number and oh, my God. If he didn't want you there, he'd just say, look, I want somebody else. If he wants models, modeling agency, beautiful starlets, they're available to billionaires. I promise you. Go on 100+ foot yachts and you don't see a bunch of ugly ladies that look like Hillary Clinton partying with billionaires. I don't care if the dude's 70 years old. He doesn't have a bunch of Hillary Clinton Pelosi types on the boat, on the yacht. He's got young, hot bodies. And you know what? If that group doesn't want to be on the boat, I promise you, there'll be a whole litany of them lined up, ready to get on the boat. George Soros could be on that boat. And I promise you, there'd be so many beautiful women ready to be with George Soros. You would sit there shaking your head going, I'm not seeing this. Yeah, you are. Anyway, then she talked about this. She chimed in on Roy Moore's accusers. The allegations against Moore, which go back decades, and which Moore's campaign has insisted are politically motivated, range from unwanted pursuit to groping to assault. And this is the guy you want to be our next senator? Allegations again, unwanted pursuit. Let me ask you, how many women, by show of hands, ladies, have had an unwanted pursuit? Did you consider that? Oh my gosh, he shouldn't have never pursued me. How many? Okay, guys, let me ask the guys. Guys, have any of you been involved in an unwanted pursuit where the woman didn't want you? Because if you haven't, then you ain't human. You've pursued somebody that goes, no, just not my type. Okay. Women have been pursued. Women pursue people. And guess what? They're just not their type. It's unbelievable. What happened to Megyn? She's revealed her true nature. I'll tell you that. Because, people would tell me, Kevin, she's a liberal. And I was like, I don't know. But then I was on a interview with her and she debated me with some Black Lives Matter clown. And she was sticking up for them. And I was like, whoa, what just happened here? So I had to blast her. Clearly, folks, this exclusive, as they call this episode of her show, was for ratings, as well as she probably needed to solidify her bona fides. Because I heard that Megyn couldn't even get guests on her show. I'm talking about celebrity guests. People were like, I don't want to be on her show. She's Fox. She's just. And so Megyn's going, no, look, I'm a liberal. I'm one of you. I just happen to be on Fox. And they're like, I don't believe you. So now she's got to, if I beat up on Trump enough, then maybe people will get it. Oh, man, these people are rich. We have another clip, though. And this one is hysterical. All of these are hysterical because they're so nonsensical. And this is why I told you before, you got to learn not to care. You have to just look at this and they tell you something like, oh, this happened. And you go, I don't care. Donald Trump just murdered somebody. I don't care. Donald Trump ran over, the Pope. I don't care. You just have to really not care. Because if you care, leftists they will use it to their advantage. Anyway, here's another girl. She's giving her harrowing story of what happened when she had a run-in with Donald Trump.
These dreams never included a man lining us all up to look us over like we were pieces of meat. These dreams never included a man coming into the backstage makeup area while I sat naked under a robe.
So this is a pageant girl saying that she never dreamed that she'd be looked over like a piece of meat. How dare they? Right? So that's number one. And then the second thing is she says, and then he came in as I sat naked under a robe. And that's what did it for this brother right here. I just fell out laughing. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So this is another one of Trump's victims, a pageant girl. How much money I don't know where. Think of all the pageant girls that Donald Trump has had. How much money did they pay this girl to come out and say this stupid thing? Whoever paid her had to go, you ain't getting a check. No, you cancel the check. Because she couldn't even keep the story. I was naked under a robe. Just for the record, that means you were wearing a robe. And then it begs other questions. Were you the only one there, pageant girl? I mean, was this a Harvey Weinstein type encounter where you're the only one there and Trump sneaks in and he says, hey, naked girl under a robe, watch me water the plant. and she's trying to get away. No, let me go with your eyes, Donald Trump. I'm naked under a robe. Let me go. Who else was around? Other pageant girls. It wasn't her by herself. Who else came in? Makeup artists, clothing personnel, people involved with the show. I don't know if you've ever been to one of these shows. I'm not trying to be all braggy or anything, but you go to one of these shows, being honest with you, the girls are naked, braless, getting on things and putting on outfits. It's nothing. People walk through there with wardrobe stuff. I mean, unless you're just a gawker, nobody cares. Nobody looks. It's just the way it is. If Trump walked back there, I promise you, there were many other men back there. Now, most of them were gay. Don't make that, but what about the lesbians? What about them? You think they're sitting there and, give me some of that. So what do they got? They got nothing. But Megyn could have had legitimate people on. People that Franken molested, people that the Conyers molested, people that Alcee Hastings molested, people that Al Green have molested. Since we've been together. Not that Al Green, right?
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. The Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Fires raging, everybody. Raging in the state of California. Was talking to one of my friends who's hosts the radio show, and she was bugging out. Kevin, I can't talk right now. I got to leave. And this was in San Diego. Fires are raging. Glad you guys are with me. It's the Kevin Jackson Show, KJRadio.com. Lots going on in the news. Surely you've heard about all the election results and things like that, and we'll get to all that stuff. Joe Prosobiec said this. He's a Twitter friend of mine. He says, imagine if George Bush had ordered the FBI to spy on Barack Obama, to plant phony evidence that there were tapes of him with hookers in Kenya, and Fox News spent a year claiming it was all true. Because that's where we are. We've got Barack Obama, who's ordered his Department of Justice, the FBI, to plant phony evidence, to go to FISA courts and get the NSA to spy on Donald Trump and everybody in his circle. They said that Donald Trump was involved with hookers in Russia and all kinds of other nonsensical things. And every news outlet, not just Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, all of them were complicit in pointing out all the different things. Oh, he did it. And then they claim that Donald Trump was in cahoots with the Russians. And we still are investigating this, even as that investigation spins on itself. Now imagine right now, if George Bush ordered the FBI to spy on Obama, plant phony evidence, told him tapes they had on him were with hookers in Kenya, Fox News spent a year, they put a special prosecutor on it after the fact, after Obama became president, and that special prosecutor continued to investigate all this nonsense, and it started spiraling back in because the special prosecutor had hired nothing but anti-Obama people and put them into his office, people that had donated to the opposition party, to McCain. What do you think would be happening right now? Would you think there'd be clamors to Barack Obama should fire special prosecutor so-and-so? And what would they say about the people who they found out, oh my goodness, look at all these, look at the person who was involved in this piece of, in this witch hunt, and who's been demoted now just to HR within the FBI. Do you think the left would stand for that? You know what's funny about all these different things? If you just say, I wonder if, you'll get your answer from the left because you know what they do. But let me tell you what would happen if we found out that George Bush had ordered the FBI to spy on Barack Obama, plant phony evidence, and say that there were hookers with Barack Obama while he was visiting Kenya. And then Fox News spent a year claiming it was all true. We would not be watching Fox News. We would be demanding that everybody in the food chain go down, even though we don't like Barack Obama, his policies, because I don't care about Barack Obama. See, if the left had any credibility to their arguments, you would ask them, you're watching this thing go down like this. What would you do if this were Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton going through this witch hunt that you're taking Trump through? What would you do? It would be completely different. It's the very same question you can ask. If the Muslims are such a religion of peace, then what happened when Donald Trump made Jerusalem, the place, recognized Jerusalem? Why are we on alert if they're the religion of peace? If you're such peaceful people, so tolerant, why are we on alert? See, these are very simple questions. And let me just explain something to you folks. I'm no genius in this. The only genius is that I never believe them, and so I immediately ask myself, well, what would they say if this happened? It's immediate. I've learned how to do it. You can learn how to do it. It's easy. But that's what Jack did. Jack Posobiec on Twitter. You should follow him. Sharp guy. He just asked very basic questions. What happens if you switch the players? You want to play? You want to do it? Do it with black people. A white dude just got shot. He was reaching, police went to get him. They said he was menacing, putting a gun out of his hotel room. Police show up and, open the door, tell him, don't reach. Boom, they shoot him. There's no Ferguson. There's nobody protesting. There's nobody that gives a crap. But you can bet your bottom dollar if that dude was black, you would have heard it throughout the media. It would have been sounded from on the mountain like Gabriel blowing his horn. That's what it would have been. Because that's how the left operates. So I got a question for you. Anybody remember when the Democrats wanted President Trump to resign over Russia? Does that ring a bell? Yeah, there was this huge investigation going on. In case you've been sleeping, you've been under a rock. There's this huge investigation ongoing about Donald Trump's collusion with the Russians. And the news is that he was doing this. He told General Flynn, Mike Flynn, during the campaign to contact the Russians. Oh, but wait. They found out he didn't tell him until after he was president. Oh, and then there's another thing that happened. They said that WikiLeaks had given Donald Trump's team the key to open up some files against Hillary Clinton. The only problem is they said it, and they didn't know that it was actually after WikiLeaks had made the information public. So it wasn't given specifically to Donald Trump. But did they bother to check? No. Now, take any of these stories that we've been talking about, that the media has been doing, this media malfeasance, put Barack Obama's name in it where Trump was, and ask yourself, what would the left be saying? How would Brian Stelter and all the other people at CNN be reporting things then? Or the most stupid guy in media is what Donald Trump called Don Lemon. What would he be saying? We know the answer. See, that's the beauty of conservatism is we want the truth. They tell you fires are raging in California. The fires are raging in the Democrats' party, on the Democrat side, on the left. That's where the fires are raging. And California is very symbolic as to why it's burning. Because you're watching leftism burn. Short break, back in a moment.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. So, I was under the impression, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, just send us a note at kjradio.com or call the show, 844-551-8255. But I was under the impression here that women were not flourishing under Donald Trump. You remember that? We played a clip a while back and the lady said, you better get your abortions now. Donald Trump's been elected. Oh, no. I wonder if there's been a run on abortions, or are leftist women still killing babies at the same rate? I'm just curious. Somebody can let me know. We talk about the Chicago murder rate. We ought to be giving you statistics on baby killing under Trump. Certainly it has to have gone up, right? Women are now going out going, oh, dude, get me pregnant so I can have an abortion before I have to get one abortion. Because, I better get this abortion now while, Donald Trump isn't president before he changes all the rules. I know that was a little convoluted. I'm not always, look, I'm not here to be understood all the time. Sometimes you have to leave the audience in a cryptic way where they're going, I heard Kevin, but I'm not exactly sure what he was saying. Y'all can check with each other on notes and stuff, because this is college. This is the Blacksburg University. Kevin Jackson's the chancellor, and I teach all the classes. And you can go check with someone. Listen, did you happen to record the show that day that Kevin was talking about such and such? KJRadio.com. You can get the show 24/7 anytime you want. And that's the good thing about this. If there's a person out there that's like really good at YouTube and videos and stuff, let us know. We got to everybody's telling me, Kevin, you got to put the show on YouTube and that's going to get your numbers away. And I told my team, I said, I ain't doing anything. There is nothing separate that I'm going to do until I know exactly how it works and how we can monetize it, because this is about the message. I'm not going to do videos and we get 100 people watch a video. Kevin, that's 100 more people. No, it isn't. That's 100 people that were going to watch whatever I put up. If you tell me how to get to 1 million, 5 million people on YouTube, Kevin, this is what you do. Now, brother, you get yourself your camera, you set it up. Oh, hold on a minute. You just said the magic words. When you coming over to do it? Come hang out with me. Come hang out with the Kevin Jackson, and we'll get it all set up. If you are an efficiency expert, give me a call. Contact me, KJRadio.com, or give me a call, 844-551-8255. A lady told me, she says, Kevin, I'm a great admin, administrative assistant. When you're ready to hire me, let me know. I'm like, please. Let me tell you, we don't have money for extraneous stuff. You have to be able to say, what I'm going to do, it will bring this much value to you, and then we're good to go. We are good to go. And I don't care. We will bring you on board. And if you show me, Kevin, I will save you $5,000 a month, then I'll tell you how much of it I'm willing to give to you. If you tell me I will earn you $20,000 a month, I'll tell you how much we're going to give to you. And it'll be fair because you get to pick. You get to pick. That's how we do it. That's how we roll. And we got a lot of people that earn their weight every day. Every single day. Up in here. Anyway, women, I thought you weren't going to flourish under Trump. Leftist women. I'm not talking to my conservative girls. No, you ladies are amazing. I'm talking about the women. Yep. And one girl wanted to get her abortion. So go. We better get our free birth control. Yeah, why don't y'all gang them up? Save all those condoms in a big old shoebox or something. Last you, a couple of months? Not even, a month? What do you think, Mr. Producer? How long would a shoebox full of condoms last the average female on the left? About a week? That's what I was thinking, too. Anyway, I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. What else we got? Women need protecting. Gloria Steinem came out of the woodwork. Yeah, Gloria Steinem. And she's like, women's rights and women and women and women. And she gave a speech, pro-woman, anti-men. The women's movement reminds me right now, it's funny that they're flourishing under Donald Trump. Think about this. The women's movement is flourishing. They have gotten rid of congressmen. They've gotten rid of news people. Christiane Amanpour replaced Brian Ross already. We got top chef, what was his name? Batali, big old Italian dude, redhead, ginger. He has been accused by 4 different women of being a lecherous leftist. By the way, took pictures with Bill Clinton, very good friends of the left, Mario Batali. Who's replacing him? Probably some, feminist chef. She'll make, I don't know, what do feminists cook? Meatballs? Matzah? What do they cook? Yeah, but they're going to be black. I'm just saying, putting it out there. So you got that going on. Who else? You got Kirsten Gillibrand. She's the new face of the leftist movement, the new feminist out there protecting people against Donald Trump and all that. They said she led the way to get rid of Al Franken. Yeah, I'm sure she did. I'm sure Kirsten Gillibrand said, hey, you know what, Pelosi and Schumer, we're going to get rid of that doggone Al Franken. He's just no good. I'm in the Senate. I don't want him in the Senate anymore. I'm afraid to walk by him. I want a new strategy here. We're going to get rid of Franken. Or maybe they got together and said, hey, listen, We got rid of Conyers. We get rid of Franken. Then we go put the pressure on Donald Trump. Dun, 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 dun. And Trump was like, yeah, go ahead, bring it. Bring it. You've tried it already once, and I beat you. I beat you bad. I beat your girl. Beat her buttocks. Smeared them all over the floor. You know what Trump would say. Whatever. And he crushed them, but they're going to do it again. Because women need protecting. Poor babies. I just feel so sorry for the women folk. Yeah, the women folk in America are being oppressed. Now, I'm sure this is going to be in all of the Middle East, periodicals and newspapers. Time, Middle East. Newsweek, Middle East. GQ, Middle East. Maybe they'll show the film on the Saudi movie theaters that will be opening soon. Yeah, white women in America, very oppressed. You know what's so sad? What's funny to me when I think about Roy Moore and all the stuff that's going on with Judge Moore? Yeah, Judge Moore. I think about how people were so willing to jump to conclusions on him. How pathetic is that? You know, you don't even give the guy the benefit of the doubt. And the reason why I keep talking about this is because if we don't do this and women get the benefit of the doubt, leftist women are who are going to get the benefit of the doubt. See, conservative women, no, if a man hits on a conservative woman and she doesn't like him, she says, no, thanks, Bill. No, I'm married, or Bill, let's just not go there. She's cool, she's done. And Bill knows in no uncertain terms, okay, I've been rebuffed. That's the end of it. But leftist women, no, they have latent, it'll be 2 years later. Oh my gosh. He asked me out and I told him no, but he asked me out. Oh my goodness. He's such a lecherous man. And when it comes, when he's about to be somebody. Yeah, when he's a nobody, nobody cares.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. So we talked about Donald Trump yesterday and the number of Diet Cokes that the man drinks. Supposedly he drinks 12 Diet Cokes a day. And they show the article I saw, they showed him sipping on one at a banquet, like at a gala. And I talked about this yesterday and I was like, okay, big deal. I personally think that's a lot of Diet Cokes. I have a friend that drinks, what does Heather drink? She drinks something, and she's like, I'm gaining all this weight. And I hadn't seen her in years, but she's like, man, Kevin, I haven't seen you. I'm gaining all this weight. I was like, you still drinking all those Cokes? She's like, yeah. She drinks Cokes or Pepsi or something. And I go, well, it's empty calories, because she drinks like 8 or 10 of these things a day. If you're drinking Diet Cokes, watch out for that aspartame, because I'm going to tell you, it almost killed me. Yeah, I felt like I was the robot man. I could hear my muscles moving and stuff. And a buddy of mine who's a major chemist, he says, kill that. Don't do that. So I stopped drinking them and I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. See, when they do stuff like that, when I come out with a phrase like that, I got to jump into some James. I feel good. No, but it was really doing a number on my body. I'm just telling you, it was these 0-calorie drinks that looked like water. They were clear, but they taste good. And so I just replaced them with water. I was like, shoot, I can have my soda. I was be riding on a bike and then after about 2 weeks, I was like barely able to move. I was like, I was 90. My buddy says, stop. He goes, he didn't even know. He goes, stop drinking those crazy drinks. And I went, how do you know? He goes, because that's what they do to your body, bro. So long story short, I quit drinking them and I feel much better. But the point is this, while New York is being bombed, the subway system by a terrorist, the New York Times is like, well, Donald Trump drinks a lot of Diet Cokes. Look at our story. Hey, New York Times, it was in your backyard that this was bombed. Do you know this? You aren't going to believe what I'm going to tell you next. Audience listening to the Kevin Jackson Show. There are people in New York who don't even know 2 terror attacks have happened within 2 months. People in New York, not tens of people, not hundreds of people, thousands of people, don't even know That's how out of touch. They don't even care. These are people that vote. They get told what to vote, told how to be. Detached. So the news, they know this stuff. Anyway, here's the interesting thing about this article. It shows you how much reality that the New York Times has lost touch with when that's what they want to be talking about. And then they actually imply that Don Lemon is an inspiration to Donald Trump. CNN Don Lennon, the gay blade, Don Lennon, Lemon Lime. Don, I've been on his show, little prima donna. He is dumb. I'm telling you guys right now, Don Lemon he has no idea what an arc is in terms of making a broadcast. He tries to pretend as if he's being fair and balanced, but he moves with the whims of his audience. Oh, black people don't like me today, I'll say something pro-black. White people don't like me today, I'll say something pro-white. He has no idea who he is. He just likes being gay and on TV and a prima donna. That's what he likes. He gets a fat paycheck, good-looking guy, comes off smart. You know, if you just look at Don and hear the way that he speaks. Hello, I'm Don Lemon with CNN, and this is the news tonight, or whatever. And he goes, and you're watching him, you're like, oh, seems like he's that was my thought when I first watched Don Lemon. I go, well, he's an authority. You know, you see somebody on TV, you think they must know something. Let me tell you something, as God is my witness. I have zero respect for most of these people that call themselves journalists. They don't know anything more than you. Why do you think I'm at Fox going, hey, I'll do a show now? God said to me, Kevin, you're more than ready. I'm just telling you. There were times where I would go, man, I don't know. Shoot, that's a rough job over there. Eyes closed, hands behind my back. I could do Don Lemon's show. I could rock Don Lemon's show, have CNN ratings through the roof. They might be mad, but I'd have people through the roof. I can't stand that colored fella. He's a blah, whatever. But they'd be watching. They'd be riveted. And I'd have people on. We'd be debating, and I'd say, yeah, no, let's get you. No, we want you on. Give me your stupid leftist view. I want to hear it. Anyway, they wrote an article in the New York Times about the president. They said this: as he ends his first year in office, Mr. Trump is redefining what it means to be president. True, I agree with that. He sees the highest office in the land, much as he did the night of his stunning victory over Hillary Clinton, as a prize he must fight to protect every waking moment. And Twitter is his Excalibur. Yeah, that is the only part of the article that I actually agreed with. See, why Twitter? A lot of people waste their time and efforts trying to figure out why the president spends so much time tweeting, and it's very clear. The mainstream media is corrupt. Twitter is a direct line of the president to the people who elected him. On Twitter, he doesn't have to wait. He doesn't have to clear anything. It's unadulterated, nothing. It's just right there. Bada bing, bada boom. And he crafts the message that he wants out. He doesn't go through handlers because, quite frankly, if he was going through handlers, he wouldn't have been elected president, and he wouldn't be drawing the type of attention on Twitter. The man has instincts that are just uncanny. So he tweeted about the New York Times article saying, you guys don't know jack about me. You don't know my TV watching habits. You don't know my, drinking habits. You know nothing. Anyway, they said, at 5:30 each morning, President Trump wakes and tunes in television into the White House's master bedroom. He flips to CNN for news, moves to Fox and Friends for comfort and messaging ideas, and sometimes watches MSNBC's Morning Joe because, friends suspect, it fires him up for the day. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, they don't know jack about what this man does. But I'll get to that more in just a second. They say this, the article goes on. Energized, infuriated, often a combo of both, Mr. Trump grabs his iPhone. Sometimes he tweets while propped on his pillow, according to aides. Other times he tweets from the den next door, watching another television. Less frequently, he makes his way up the hall to the ornate treaty room, sometimes dressed for the day, sometimes still in night clothes, where he begins his official and unofficial calls. People close to him estimate that Mr. Trump spends at least 4 hours a day, sometimes as much as twice that, in front of a television, sometimes with the volume muted, marinating in the no-holds-barred wars of cable news and eager to fire back. Woo! I mean, it's amazing what they wrote. President Trump denies it, of course. Because think about this. How busy is this man? I know he's not involved in his multinational corporation, but he's got to get updates. How busy is a guy whose mind runs like his does, and he's got a gazillion things to do? How could he be glued to the TV? Let me tell you something. Billionaire presidents know how to live. Why bother watching life on TV when your life is TV? And then, of course, there's that pesky job as president of the United States. So between what? Managing the economy, setting stock market records, creating record numbers of jobs, bringing back record numbers of businesses into America, working on trade deals, bombing ISIS into oblivion, navigating various foreign relationship, what have you, interaction with family and friends and galas and White House, types of activities. How in the world is he going to double the amount of TV? It's like to watch the amount of TV he watches, you'd have to be obsessed. Somebody better give me a TV in here. So if it ain't a TV in front of here in the next 2 minutes, it's going to be hell to pay. Somebody going to die. I mean, they want you to believe that this dude cannot live without a TV. And what if CNN is on in the background? That's how it is at the airport. How else would CNN get their ratings if it weren't for that? CNN is the god of fake news. And President Trump called it that. If he wants to watch him just to keep his eye on the enemy, good for him. And Don Lemon? Who wants to make Don Lemon your idol? This is the dude that got drunk on national TV at last year's New Year's Eve party. Seriously. You don't think Donald Trump knows who to have as an idol? Somebody he wants to emulate? It certainly wouldn't be him. No, it's not me. Stop it. Stop it. It's not me. Yeah. Oh, man, these people are incredible what they want you to believe. But let me tell you how dumb this move is. It's dumb. Because what it shows Donald Trump is he's draining the swamp. Remember when there were leaks all over the place about what Donald Trump was doing? Reince Priebus and that other Reince Priebus's number one, Katie something or another, and various people. Everything was getting to the press. How much is getting to the press now? They're making stuff up. We speculate. We hear it on sources, blah, blah, blah. He gets up in the morning. He's in his pajamas. They know nothing about Donald Trump. That's pretty good news.
Kevin Jackson on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Kevin Jackson here. It is the Kevin Jackson Show. We're talking about terrorism. We're talking about election results. We're talking about the war on men, the war on women, Gillibrand's new role in the Democratic Party, Roy Moore, fires raging in California. You got it. There's so much going on. Donald Trump still beating up on the media. Donald Trump Jr. joining in with his dad. You guys joining in, talking about how lecherous these people are. And the lesson is learn not to care. Learn not to care. I got a social media guy. He's a former rock star. I don't mean that in a fun, like he's a true former rock star. Got a big contract and turned it down because he found the Lord. And we were talking about, all the stuff that, for keeping up with social media. And he's like, Kevin, there's so much news here and it's horrible stuff. He's just looking at articles. And I said, hey, you're a doctor and you're, what do they call it? When your bedside manner is you go and you diagnose the problem and you get out. You can't get invested. You can't get emotionally invested. You will go put a gun in your mouth. You look at the news. You determine what's good for our message, and you back away. Get it out to the writers, get it out to the editors, and be done. If you try to invest yourself in all these stories, like we're going to do this story about all the dreamers in America who are killing people. And he's like, holy cow, I'm putting together this information, Kev. It's horrible, the things these guys do. And I go, yeah. Just look at it. Dreamer killed somebody. Dreamer raped. Dreamer this. Dreamer that. Blah, blah, blah. And look at it as a job to get the thing done. And that's it. Push it back. Push it away. Because if you put too much effort into it, you're going to be upset. You're going to take it to heart. So I'll give you a good example. The family of the terrorist who killed, well, he didn't kill anybody, but he wanted to. This guy, what's his name? Akayed Ullah, who had a pipe bomb taking it down the subway in New York. That guy, he was, obviously didn't get to kill anybody, but he was a bad guy trying to do a bad thing. And so he gets taken down. And his family is outraged. But they're not outraged at him for trying to destroy the country that's adopted him and them. And because he got over on a chain, what do they call it? Chain migration. His cousin or somebody brought him over. How we allow this to happen, I don't know. But we need to stop it. But his family is mad at what they call the heavy-handed tactics that were used to bring him down. This is a man who tried to blow up people with a pipe bomb. And his family's mad at the tactics that were used. Yeah. Chain migration terrorist bombs the New York subway. And his family's outraged. And here's what the New York Post reported. The family of the alleged ISIS-inspired Port Authority bomber said they were heartbroken by the attack on Monday and blasted law enforcement agencies for what they claim were heavy-handed tactics by investigators. We are heartbroken by the violence that was targeted at our city today and by the allegations being made against a member of our family. The allegations being made. Let's see. Pipe bomb in his stomach, went off prematurely, hurt him, and you're mad at what? They say this, but we're also outraged by the behavior of the law enforcement officials who held children as small as 4 years old out in the cold and who pulled a teenager out of high school classes to interrogate him without lawyer, without his parents. What do you want us to do? Your family member is killing people. How do we know who else won't? How do we know who else isn't over here on one of these chain migration visas? See, this reminds me of Michael Brown Jr. Blacks were complaining about how long Michael Brown Jr.'s body was in the street, as if that was the crime. Michael Brown Jr. tries to kill a cop, and the cop kills him, and their concern is, and look at how long they left him in the street. Now, that's a crime right there. So what, he tried to kill a police doing his job. The way the police handle the body, well, look at that. That's where black people are not getting their civil rights. And if the Brown situation, folks, it taught us nothing. We know that the real story means nothing in comparison to the fake narrative. That's what the left excel at, is the fake narrative. And that's exactly what this is. The family criticized the way this investigation was handled, even though the suspect allegedly launched a failed attack in a crowded subway tunnel. That's what they write. He didn't allegedly do it. He did it. And then they go on to say this. These are not the actions we expect from our justice system. Well, guess what? These are not the sort of actions we expect from our citizens or those who come over here on a visa. Here's what we should do. Every time one of these suckers goes out and does something, if you're over here in a chain migration, if anybody in your chain does something wrong, everybody goes. See? Did that on the fly. And here's what they also said. This is no joke. We have every confidence that our justice system will find the truth behind this attack, and we will in the end be able to learn what occurred today. When I tell you these people know how to work the left strategy, this is genius. I mean, it's stupid. But in terms of adopting to leftism, this is you can't teach this. They have witnessed this firsthand. This is learned. I mean, I'm saying this is like practically born with this now. This is the way the left would play this story. We want to find the real truth. Who really did this? We believe it was Donald Trump. Let's get a special prosecutor. And oh, by the way, while Donald Trump was attempting to, set off a pipe bomb, he also fondled a couple of chicks in the subway. Can we get somebody to look into that? Maybe we can impeach him. Let's impeach Donald Trump. Our producers are going, dude, you're going off the rail. Oh, man. New Yorkers, you can feel safer today, right? I mean, what could they possibly think of leadership that doesn't care about their safety? They elect these politically correct morons. And then these guys pass laws that allow for the mayhem of citizens as if they're planting, Christmas trees in Central Park right now. Okay, this is so pretty. Let's put another tree over there, Cuomo and de Blasio treated Muslims around the world to a dog and pony show. And as these clowns were speaking, I was imagining what radical imams were doing. They had to be laughing. Look at them. Ha, 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 ha. Muslim pigs in their case sit there thinking, soon one of ours will govern your city as we govern London. And after every attack, these leftist so-called leaders, they hold a press conference. They say the same things. New Yorkers are resilient. Blah, blah, blah. They better be resilient, you New Yorkers. I'm telling you this, because you're going to get bombed again. You're going to get run over again. You're going to get assaulted by Muslim jihadists soon. And I don't know how. I don't know where, in terms of where in the city, but it's going to happen. And the irony of this whole thing is this dude was on the watch list. He was on it. I'm not sure how the left brain works, really. But I'll just say this to leftists. This situation is a no-brainer. Even leftists should know what's at stake when you continue these idiotic ideas, these idiotic notions of how you think we should be dealing with Muslims. Unbelievable. Ullah is now the victim. This is the same tactic of Michael Brown. Look, they got shrines going up to black guys who resisted arrest, got themselves killed. They have people marching in the streets, threatening to burn down places when a drug deal, a heroin deal gone bad, ends up getting a heroin dealer shot. And black people say, where was the gun? As if they don't believe that a dude slinging drugs in the street, in the hood, doesn't have a gun. That's the world we live in now, that leftists want you to believe. I've given you plenty of examples today, and here's what I tell you all the time. Learn not to care. You can't care about the left. You can't care about being fair because they don't care about that with you. They don't care about your life.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.